Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of Leicester Reborn. Today's episode we're going to go through and look to make some sales and look to bring some players into the football club here as we look to embark on our first year in the Champions League and our third year in the save in general. If you missed last episode, as you can see in there, we did win the FA Cup, so if you want to go see the most scintillating display of absolute domination against a world-class side that is Liverpool Football Club, go check that out last episode. In today's episode, we're going to break down the squad in our first part, look at a couple of sales, some big sales for us, going through. We have a couple of guys that we've promised some sales to, and then from there, we're looking at signing some players, and I've already got one on my eye is on, but we'll discuss that if we ever make a bid for it as well. First things first, the squad is here, and it is fantastic, and look, as you can see here, first things first, after the absolutely outrageous FA Cup display, Tede's now being touted as being a leading to a world-class player in the Premier League. With that being said, we are not going to be accepting bids for him for anything less than 100 to 120 mil, wanted by a lot of big clubs. I don't think he would have any reason to leave, and hopefully he never will. With that being said, we've obviously got to speak about some other players and the team players that are in the team. Think long-term, what the team looks like on paper right now is your long-term side, but let's go through it. Castagna wants to leave, and he just asked me to say that he wants to go, so I'm going to sell. So we need a right back. Everything else not too bad. I think we can improve upon Drewsbury Hall as well, so I'm going to take him out of the team. And I think outside of that, the team's not too bad. In terms of other options here, I think Drewsbury Hall has to come in for a Wilfred Ndidi or a Samar and sell the other one. We've also got James Justin as a backup right back, but he isn't going to be playing right back, and we've got Smithy as the backup keeper, which is fine as well. Outside of that, we're going to look to sell Sarr and Castagna, which means we really need a first-team right back and a first-team ball-winning midfielder. However, there is interest in other players. Scott's got interest, and he didn't have the greatest year in the whole, so maybe we look to sell. Harvey Barnes has interest by West Ham, and even though being English, maybe we could sign a better left winger to make us a better player as well. So hopefully that's the sort of areas we're looking at. We've got a very good left back in Victor Christensen, who has got interest, but I have no intention of selling at 21. I have a very good centre back in Jose Marshall that's only going to get better with a full year here in the Premier League. I got a striker who just scored a brace in the FA Cup, scored 27 in 37 games as an 18, 19-year-old in Garen Quoll, who I'm not selling. And we got a world-class right winger. So I really think now's the time to go sell a couple of these players, maybe look to move a couple of these players from our first team to our bench to make us better, and really go out there and nail a really good right back and a really good ball-winning midfielder / Segunda Volante player, and get both of them in to really improve us for next season and get us Champions League ready. I think that is what the goal is going to be. There might be a couple of other sales depending on what goes on here as well. We do have interest in a couple of other players that I'd be interested in. Say, for instance, if Ian Nacho decides to get a big bid here for 40 to 60 million, I may go after then a first choice striker and then move Garen Quoll to the bench and use him as a super sub as well. With that being said, let's go find out what we're going to do moving forward. And I'll be back in a second with our first piece of major business. I'm currently looking at a right back. He's English. And we'll see if we can get him. We'll let you know if we make a bid and if he decides to come in as well. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I earmarked a player to come in and play right back. And well, here is Tino Livramento, a man that I cannot believe Chelsea let go for the measly fee of 5 mil. And a man that is outrageous in Football Manager. They're just getting relegated at Southampton. They got relegated this season back to the Championship. He has a 37.5 mil release fee to clubs in higher division. This one is an absolute no-brainer. Went in very early, spent the money on him. He's a natural crosser, loves getting up and down, and is very physical. And with Castagna wanting to leave and me already accepting a large amount of bids for Mangala Sarr, I am over the moon. Mangala Sarr, we rejected some bids at 22.5, and we've got 4 bids of 30 mil. I think he'll end up at Monaco, but he might end up at a few others. He really wanted to go to PSG, which I understand, but 22.5 mil wasn't going to cut it. I'm very happy with getting in Tino Livramento. He is going to be your new right back as well. Our chairman injects 21.5 million into the club, which is great. And to be fair, on top of that, the chairman was going to get some money back as well. But yeah, Tino Livramento is in the door. Looking at some other players like Mateus Cunha as a ball-winning midfielder in the middle of the park could be the other one, right? He's fantastic. If anything, Segundo Valentin support fits him very well as well. Very aggressive, up and down, can finish, can dribble. I think Mateus Cunha at 49 mil, if we can get the money up to him, is someone that we're definitely going to look to sign as well because of how good of a footballer he is. So, we love it. I think he's fantastic. Obviously, even as a roaming playmaker and support, with the dribbling ability and everything, he looks fantastic and moving Lavia into the defensive midfield role. He's the other one I've earmarked from the two sides getting relegated. Take their two best talents from Southampton and Wolves, put them straight into our side, and we're very happy with that. That's something I'm planning to do, but it all depends on the money we get. Skamaka's another one that I am looking at, of course, as well. I don't think I would because of the lack of pace, but Lewis Cook is, out of all the Bournemouth options, apart from Ilio at centre-back, is one that we could go for as well. So, look, he will come into here, Livramento. We need another one. Latvia is probably his best role according to the game, is ball-winning midfielder back there. You can see why, because of how physical he is and winning the ball back, something that he craves. I think if we can get a really good Segundo Valentin alongside him, that's two pieces of the jigsaw puzzle done, and we're going to have a fantastic team for next year. I'll see you guys probably when it's light and tomorrow morning as we make another signing or with anything like that. But as it stands, 30 mil coming in from Mangala. We spent 38 mil for Livramento to come in. So we've on 8 mil as a net transfer spend to get in one of the best English right backs and English talents that there are in the game. I'll take that. I'll take it very much. Welcome back in YouTube. We have just officially signed Livramento to the football club and Castagna and Mangala have both left. We're simming through and Tete has got a monstrous bid from Chelsea. He's also had a bid come in from Newcastle, 53 mil plus whatever. I said that I wouldn't sell it for anything less than 100. They've started out with a 78 mil bid, 60 mil of that up front. Now, this is a guy that his stock is really high because of the 2 years he's had. We loaned him in the Championship, went ballistically good, developed. And then last year in the Premier League was arguably the Premier League's best player with 19 goals, 11 assists with 7.22 average rating. I don't want to sell him, but if Chelsea are giving me this big of a bid, we probably need to discuss it because I don't know what we'll do. Currently live on stream yet again, so there we are as well. So links down below, come follow us live on Twitch. Other bid here is from Newcastle, who have bid only 46 mil and that. I'm going to reject that straight off the bat because that's just too low. I like this bid here. We've also, by the way, I've accidentally released Alex Smithies, which I feel so dirty about. Got a bid in on Lafont. He's also got a bid from Bournemouth. I really want him to come in to me because I need a backup keeper. And Kyle Walker's on a free. We put a bid in for him as well to come be a bit of a rotation regular starter with Livramento. And then Liverpool, Newcastle, Sevilla will come in for him, so I don't expect to get him either. But who knows? Now, I think the first thing I have to say is, if I was to sell today, who am I signing at right wing? That's the question. Who am I signing at right wing is the question. Who comes in? Who's interested in coming in that is like decent without me having to have a look? Xavi Simons is someone that could definitely come in. Mahrez at 33 is a stopgap. Not bad, but not someone I really want to go for. Would be nice. James Maddison could come back home. Fair. Fulgen Hazard's not a bad player. I think the answer would be Nicolas Zanolo. And the reason why is comparing Zanolo to Tete is they're very similar. Right? They're very similar footballers. Where Tete's a little bit better in speed, a little bit better in a technique. Zanolo's a little bit more well-rounded. And I think if you sold Ted Aaron for 100 mil and buy Nicola Zanolo in for 15, you're making a ton of profit. You're still getting a very good footballer. And I used him this year on FM in the Premier League in Glory Hunter with West Ham, and he was elite. So I think you get Zanolo in, and you'll get a very similar player that can do just as good as a job for a lot cheaper. So I think Zanolo is someone that we would look at. And then outside of that, you're looking at a few other options there as well. Williams is in there. Mbuemo might be an option as well. But yeah, you got options, what I'm saying. Francisco Trincano, he gave us one of our best ever moments a couple of years ago on FM with the do not shoot moments. But yet again, another footballer, 35 mil. He's very well rounded. You sell Tete on and you get a Portuguese international in who's got very good technicals and is very, very well rounded. So Yeah, I feel like we're gonna do some negotiating here, YouTube. I think Olise is another one. Like Olise for 53 to 76 mil fits the bill to what I'm trying to do in this save. If we sell Tete on for 110, 120 mil, Olise is the player that comes in for me because he's English, and I want to have as much English talent as possible. But yeah, all right, let's go in. Let's have a chat. All right, how much money do we let Chelsea take him off us for? I think we have to try and ask for about 130, 140 mil. I just think he's someone that we gotta ask for as much money as possible. I think if we go in and say, guys, if you give me 115 million, I think I'm gonna go greedy. I think I'm gonna go 120 million, 13 mil over 2 years, plus when he scores 20 goals for Chelsea, we get the money. And they're probably gonna reject this. Is that too much? I think we go ballsy. I think we go really big. 115, 136 total. They've decided to walk away. Okay. Ask Lucas Moura to talk to him. Please say you just want to stay because you want a wage rise. Oh, he wants a pay rise. Alright, we're not selling him, we're giving him more money. Mate, done. 170k a week. $170k a week. Just get rid of that. Go to important player as well, by the way. Thank you. And 170k a week. Just don't do that. You've not played for Brazil yet, but if you play 10 games, I'll give you 200. That's a big old bid there for Tete. Look, I would have taken 120. We've got to give Tete a deal. I'm not going to... I'm not going to transfer list him, but what you're going to do is I'm going to go to targets, other, and I'm going to go Chelsea, who are interested. I'm going to go Newcastle, who are interested. And who's the other club that's come out of nowhere? Man City. If you guys don't know how to do this, just go targets and others, 120 mil. I'm going to offer them out and see if someone bites. Chelsea come in with 69 mil. They come in with 83, 75 up front. I don't think we can take that. I don't think we can take that. Do we find a better player? Do we find a better player? Let me know what you would have done in the comment section here, YouTube. I'm going to discuss this with my Twitch chat very quickly. I don't think we're taking that. I just don't think that's enough money. I feel like for a 24-year-old who's got to still develop after the year he's had, we need 100 mil plus. I'm very, very annoyed that Chelsea came in and said he's 75 mil, 83 mil total. But yeah, we're going to discuss it with our Twitch chat. We'll be back. YouTube, we're back. And me and the Twitch chat have been having a talk. We think that if we can get 90 million for Tete, we have to sell him. Because it's just too good of a bid. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, only 9 stats that are 15 plus. But the reason why he's so world class is A, his form, and B, because he's very well rounded outside of that. And he must have some really good stats behind, the hidden stats. He's also very consistent. We've been negotiating with Manchester City, who we rejected a bid for, and we've been negotiating with Chelsea, who refused to pay anything more than 80 odd mil. We've just negotiated, well, we didn't negotiate, we've been trying to negotiate like 99, 98 mil for him. They've just said 77 mil plus 8.75, he scores 20 goals. That might happen over 2 seasons, but it's a guaranteed 77 mil. if he somehow hits the floor running and a Barcelona Real Madrid buy him for 130 mil, we get some good profit as well. So I feel like this one we're taking, and then we're going to transfer list him up and hope that, you know, Newcastle or Man City get really aggressive and come in for 100 mil. Oh, that hurt. All right, there we go. Don't want to be a selling club, but I just feel like that's way too much to turn down. I feel like there's a couple of players out there that we could go for that is going to cost us less. One of them being Olise, who's 2 years younger and could be a lot better, plus being English, and we could get him for less. And that's who we're going to go for, is Olise. And then, yeah, hopefully that leads our way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick around quickly. Let me know what you would have done. And now I'm going to just transfer him up for 98 mil and see if someone comes in right now. I think because we're making our bed, we're going to withdraw the contract offer. Mate, you're going to go to Chelsea anyway, so yeah. No offers for this guy here as well. I'm just going to list him up until we get something that of a bit more note. This guy apparently worth 7 mil sitting in our reserves. There's also another one worth 20. Yeah, we're going to see if Tede gets another bid. If not, he's going to go to Chelsea. And maybe I shouldn't withdraw the contracts in case he rejects Chelsea. Yeah. That is a big moment here in the save. We've made a big choice, I think. I think we've made a massive choice. Hopefully a Man City or something come in, because there's interest from Man City Newcastle. Leicester make a 51 mil bid for Olise. Apparently I did. I don't think we did. I made a bid and then I rejected the bid because we didn't get there, but yeah. Oh no, I made an official 51 mil bid, which they rejected. What I did is I was like having a look and actually press suggest and offered them 70 mil and then was like, nah, I didn't mean to do that, bro. But yeah. Looks like Tede's out the door, boys. Doesn't look like there's another bid that's coming for Tede. Least bid rejected. His release fee of 91 mil now. That's not happening. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll see what we're going to do. Welcome back. Tede has officially got a work permit and is going to Chelsea for 77 mil up front. Subject to rise to 85 mil. We get 68 mil straight into the coffers. Tede has a release fee of 91 mil. Palace have played hard to get, haven't negotiated. We've now negotiated 39 mil up front with 50 mil over 3 years. No other clauses. So that's 60 mil out of every budget moving forward. The reason why I want to take this for Olise is he's like for like, very, very well rounded. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, game. This must have been doing whatever it does before we accept this. I just want to go, because the game did that, I'm just going to save just in case something happens, because we've already had where we've been negotiating, the game's done that, and then the negotiation of what we did's gone away. So it's been a weird day on FM. But yeah, if we go to Olise and Tede, very similar footballers. Elise's got a bit better vision, a bit better aerial, where Tede's a little bit more physical, a bit more speed. What I will say is that with Olise being 2 years younger and English, I do think Tede is someone that makes way for him. Now, if we look at attributes, they're very, 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 very well rounded. Tede, if Olise has actually got one better in technical, same physical and same mental totals. One thing I will say as well is Olise is a little bit taller at 6 foot and a touch a little bit leaner, which means he's a bit faster for me in the match engine. Now, if we have a look at the stats, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stats of 15 plus at a very young age compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which for me means Olise for me is a more well-rounded, completed player at 22. If we have a look at the key roles and inverted wingers, I prefer him on attack, but let's just do it on support. Olise is 1-0 up on crossing, 2-0 up on dribbling, loses to 2-1, 3-1 up on long shots, 4-1 up on passing, loses on techniques, and 4-2. Same composure as a tie, same decisions as a tie. Loses out off the ball, so that's what, 4-3 or 5-3. I think it was 5-3, so 6-3 there on vision. Same acceleration, loses out on agility, so 6'4", loses out on pace, 6'5", same stamina. So Olise being 2 years younger, if you look at those stats, has got a little bit of, is a touch better, a bit more well-rounded. I think Flair's important, which he's got one more of as well. So and I'd say it's 7'5" in terms of stats, which are important for inverted wingers that go to Olise. He's younger, and that's the one we're going to go for. So with that being said, Tede, mate, you've been fun. You're out the door. Olise, mate, you're coming in, and barring someone going ballistic. Melier didn't want Tede to go. I will deal with that in a second. I am signing Olise in to be a star player. We're not putting in that, and I would prefer to be an important player. Good lad. There you go, 155k a week, 107 mil release fee. Look, 107 mil release fee. He wants a release fee? Sure, it's going to be 180. 180, remove the sell-on fee. He's probably going to get to that, so I'm going to try and talk him down on that, and we're not going to go wage rise, but I'm going to give him maybe a better base. See what he says to that. I'm going to not do that. I don't want to give you the sell-on fee, but we'll do that. I just want to drop this down a little bit. I'll give you agent a little bit more fee. Don't do this to me. Just going to have to accept that. Yeah, whatever. There we go. Olise played hardball. But yeah, we were in no position where after selling Tede, we're not going to do that. So yeah, there we go. That's done. I'm going to talk to Melier myself, and I'll be back in a second. Don't go anywhere. Here he is, YouTube. Officially, Michael Olise is in the door. What a tricky winger. I've never used him on FM. I think he's a fantastic player to add into the training camp. We're going to welcome in Dindy to welcome him in. We're obviously going to squad register in Olise as well. We need to go through the squad and actually pick what is the best squad for ourselves as well. We are making some signings here too, which is great. Olise's in there, which is great as well. Garen's on the 21. So beautiful. And yeah, obviously English, homegrown, we love it. Goes straight in as an inverted winger. And yeah, I think he's a fantastic signing. Now, if you have a look at him straight away, he's so well-rounded that you just enjoy it. He's also a very good free kick taker. So we get a free kick taker finally as well. And he can take decent corners too. So we're going to put him on everything. Straight away, I think we're working his attacking movement, which the game's telling me to do as well, which is great from Ian Crawley. Get the off the ball up as well. The more 15s we get for this kid, the better it is. And I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic to watch this year for the team. Now, what that means for us right now is, what does that mean for the rest of the squad, Damien? We're in a little bit of disarray because I didn't let my backup goalkeeper go without knowing. So we need a backup keeper, and Lafont rejected me. Walker just rejected me as well to go to Barca, which is fair enough. I didn't need him. And we still need a defensive midfielder to partner Lavia in the middle of the park. So still got plenty of money that we need to spend. I don't want to spend all of it, but we've got 81 million to spend on 2 spots. We need a defensive midfielder, and we need a backup keeper, preferably an English backup goalkeeper, just in case for the Champions League as well. But I'll be back with those signings there. In terms of pre-season, we've got our games all settled. We've actually got Barcelona in one. I think what we are going to do is try and get these signings done by the end of pre-season. And next episode, instead of giving you a game, this episode is going to be Liverpool and Chelsea's a double-header to open the season. Community Shield against one of the world's best. I would imagine Liverpool won the Champions League against Man United. Don't disappoint me, boys. They lost in a penalty shootout. Of course they did. We put them in the bin, did we? We're the slight better side, and they went through the whole thing, and Salah missed his second penalty. Salah missed 2 penalties in the shootout. Interesting. So we get Liverpool and who failed to do it all. And then we got Chelsea, which is a very tough start. But looking forward to the season, and we'll be back in a second with a defensive midfielder and a goalkeeper signing as a backup, and then we're there. And then the squad is in a really good spot. YouTube, I introduced to you your defensive midfielder signing to play alongside Lavia. And I'm telling you right now, I think we got one of the best midfield duos in the Premier League moving forward. Kefren Turam, a player I used in Glory Hunter, but used him as a 33-year-old and a 34-year-old. Never got to use him as a younger player. I have used him on other saves, and he's a player I admire a lot. I really wish that football club up there bought him. But yeah, unlike Bellingham and unlike Turam, we didn't want to put out the dosh. So there we go. With that being said, Turam is in the door though here at Leicester. 31 mil up front. If he plays like 50 games, or it's over 3 years. It's another 7 mil, so it's 37 mil total, and they get 20% of the sell-on fee, but that is really it. Outside of that, that is us and our squad completed, lads. That is exactly what we needed to say and do, and that's that. We've also signed in a backup goalkeeper, that is Sam Johnston, as well. English, 31 years of age, Tate Palace's backup keeper. Wanted to come in just to be a backup, so if something was to happen long term. Also didn't know, but we had a guy that came through our academy with 3-star potential, who's not great, but maybe might be okay. And this guy was out on loan last year in our 21, so he's not too bad there in Jacob. If anything, what I would say is that because we've released a lot of players, our under-21s is lacking some talent, but a lot of guys that we're able to play in the 21 league, and there's a couple of guys here on our bench that we'll make available, like Will Alves, etc. there in the 21s. In essence, this is what the window has looked like at the moment. We have got bids in, what we've set for Joel Warrington here, of 8 mil going up to 14, and a 10 to 13 mil bid there for him. Just don't think, as much as he's got potential, I don't think he's ever going to get there. And as much as we want players to be in our under 21s, I also think selling on a player for this amount of money at 20 is not too bad as well. With that being said, we go to our transfer history here and we go by sales. We sold Tede out for 85 million to Chelsea, 77 million, probably goes up to 88 mil, whatever it is, or 87 mil, whatever it is. Mangala Sai out for 30. Timothy Castagna out for 25, getting that over period. Sammy Braybrook, another one that you guys may remember that we loaned out hoping he would develop, never developed out on loan. Very similar to like Garen Quoll, just doesn't develop for whatever reason. With that being said, even though he had 2 good loan spells, went out to 13 mil total to Brentford with no future fees or anything like that. On the ins, we obviously go back to Tino Livramento for 37.5 mil, which was his release fee, class right back. And then we've got 89 mil for olise. That's obviously been split up over 3 years. So yeah, we're going to feel that punch all up front, which is good. To run for 30 to 37 and Johnston in for 1.4. If you look at our best 11, if we were to pick our best 11, which if I was to do this and do this and do this, because I think Tarum will play Segundo Volante, I think that's his best role. All of a sudden your team looks good. Anyone over 3-star is a good to leading player. 3-star is deemed a good Premier League player with potential. So you've got a world-class goalkeeper in goal, where the game literally says that he's world-class. You've got a right-back that's only going to develop into being a world-class right-back, who's going to be fantastic. If I was to pick my best centre-back partnership, it's Jose Marshall with Ama Bombadella, if you were to have a look at it. If that being said, you've got a guy that is a former wonder kid that can develop, and if he hits his potential, is borderline leading to world class, who I think has potential. You have got a 22-year-old who's only going to, I think, get a little bit better as well. That's very well-rounded. And you got a left-back that has been sensational for us in this save as well as a wing-back, and I expect big things from Victor Christensen, who in his own right is a good leading player. 2 of the best central defensive midfielders in the league. You've got a right winger that's only going to get better and is world class already. You've got Alex Scott and Harvey Barnes. Alex Scott could develop into a monster. Still, verdict's not out. Harvey Barnes, verdict's not out. And Garen Quoll scored 20 plus goals in the league next season. I think that's a very strong team. I think that's a team that could make a run in the Champions League to a quarter-final appearance, which would be fantastic for us in our first year. It's a team where if you look at the bench, we've got a pretty solid backup bench as well, which is fantastic. If we do that there, so you've got your proper bench in there. You've got a pretty good backup keeper in Sam Johnston. You've got Justin Sutar, Demaru, and Luke Thomas, which are a pretty decent back four for the Prem. You've got Drewsbury Horn and Dindy, which is just improving our central midfield even more. Lynch and Albers, wonder kids. Obviously, Lucas Moura could be on the way out for 20-odd mil if we get the right bid. If we decide to list him up, and Ian Acho at the moment doesn't have any interest, but if he did, we would sell and buy a world-class striker for Garen Quoll. Leaves me with 62 mil in the bank with 42 mil in the wage. I'm just going to do this just very quickly and do that to give me a little bit more wage just in case. We've got options to sell on a few fees as well, but that is going to be your episode here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Pre-season's well underway. We've won our first 2 games over in Thailand. We're now back home to play a few games against Atlanta, Barcelona, and Middlesbrough. And when I see you guys next, it will be for the Champions League. For the Community Shield against Liverpool Football Club in a game where we look to win a trophy to start the season, and of course Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge on the opening day of the Premier League. With that being said, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. This one has been a massive episode with a lot of transfer drama. If you've enjoyed it, come check it live on Twitch down below. Thank you and have a great one. Goodbye.